joined by John and Stan from the heavy metal band Bone, and they're based in Austin, Texas. So I'm very pleased to meet you two. How are you?
We're doing great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, well, you're very, very welcome. I'm very excited to speak to you. You're known for your high energy shows. So it's one thing I know about you. And apparently you have unexpected influences. So I want to talk a bit about that. So who are your influences and why wouldn't we expect them from you?
Well, the unexpected part is that we will mix things together that people just, they're surprised. And so you wouldn't think to hear something that's a little more on the Slayer side suddenly leaning towards Danzig, or something that's a little more Metallica suddenly leaning towards Amon Amarth. And we like whatever works. We just say let's use it if it works. We don't like all the rules. We want music to just move forward.
Yeah, I read that you don't like rules, so I did wonder about that. So that's just to do with the music, is it, or is it just in general?
Well, I think we're just mainly talking about music. You know, I don't want to drive down the road when there's no traffic signs at all. You know,
the rules are good. Yeah, well, you know what? I've been reading a little bit about you, and I've got to say, I liked your biography so much that I think I'm going to base this part of the interview around that, if you don't mind. I'm just going to read out some of the things that you've said about yourself. I've got to say, I do like a band that don't take themselves too seriously, and I think you might be that band. I do want to know who wrote this biography, though. Was it you, John?
It was written mostly by Ethan, our bass player.
Ethan, your bass player, not my son Ethan, because I also have an Ethan.
Well, he should take credit for it.
Right, okay, so we're going to get started. Bone is a heavy metal thrash band from Austin, Texas, which we've already discovered, that was conceived in 2017. So you've been going, 5 years, okay, not that long, by former, now, what is it, Powderburn guitar player Eric Anthony and former Cerebral Desecration bassist Ethan Wisman. Am I correct? Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes.
Yes, well, I'm very pleased I've managed to do that. Now this is the bit I love. Being very, very honest, being only mediocrely talented, they needed the likes of some other fools that would be willing to fill in the slots of drums and vocals. Hence, we have you two. Right? Right, okay. So in fact, the third former Fear Control drummer Stan, so that's you, is heavy hitting drums would help pound all listeners into submission. Is that what you find? Do you pound people into submission?
I do, metaphorically, not literally.
Right, okay.
No,
okay.
But yeah, it's very hard hitting drums and I play fast. So I would say agreed and definitely right.
Okay, and vocals will be taken by former Trauma Concept guitarist and vocalist John Jones. That's you. Now this is the bit I love. The ginger, well, kind of ginger, yes, with an appetite for buttholes and sauerkraut. Now, what's all that about? Buttholes and sauerkraut? Do they go together?
I used to, when we first started, I used to be a little bit nervous on stage. And I would just say, just to get people's attention that weren't there to listen to us, they're there for their friend's band. I would say, hey, everybody, show me your buttholes.
Did everybody show you theirs?
And it didn't work, but they looked, they turned around and looked at us. And the sauerkraut thing is just because I like German food so much. That's all. Yeah.
Now, I know you've delved into ancestry a little bit, and I think we have something in common here. We're both of Irish ancestry, am I right? Or potentially a little bit of Irish blood there?
I do have Irish, but I just typically tell people I'm American because we're all mutts.
But there's a little bit of Irishness going on, which might account for the ginger, the colouring, possibly.
Oh, sure. And I guess Jones is Welsh, right? So.
Yes.
So
like
it's all tied together. Yeah, that's my brother's name.
All right, okay. Right, so we're just going to finish this bio of yours. So realising they weren't getting enough chicks, okay, they found local music teacher Derek Hoffman, formerly of Now this is great. SuperHeavyGoatsAss. Is that an actual band? I mean, what is that? SuperHeavyGoatsAss?
It was.
Right. And how well do they do?
Probably the same thing happened to them that happened to all of our former bands, you know? So,
fizzled out or something.
Yeah, it just kind of winds down. Things happen. People quit, you know.
Yeah, well, you found Derek, and he was wandering the halls of a local music school, and you employed him to shred those sweet bendy solos, and together you formed an okay band whose main goal is to make, what does this mean? Make your taint feel funny? What's a taint? I wonder if that was a misspelling. What is that meant to be, taint?
I don't know if it means the same thing over there.
I've never heard of it. What does it mean?
Am I going to say this, Stan? All right.
Come on, you tell me. Just spit it out.
All right. The taint is the spot between your genitals and your butthole.
Oh, is it? Right.
So,
yeah, okay. Yeah.
Because it taint that and it taint the other. It taint this, it taint that.
You know, you learn something new every day, and I'm so glad that this is the new thing that I learned today, because I don't think I would have learned this anywhere else.
You don't take ourselves too seriously, you know.
No, very good. Okay, so we're getting to the end now. So, and make your girlfriend run in fear. Together they are bone. But I thought the point was to get more chicks, not to get them running away.
Well,
how does that work?
There was an old episode of Beavis and Butthead. You remember that show?
Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, on Beavis and Butthead, they were watching a Pantera video one time. They said the only thing cooler than a band that gets all the chicks is a band that scares all the chicks away.
And which do you do then?
I think because we don't take ourselves too seriously at all, that, you know, the chicks, they don't like the gross humor, but they keep showing up. I don't know. Yeah. I think they show up thinking maybe that we're something that we aren't. Maybe that's it. Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm sure they're not disappointed.
Oh, thank you so much.
So we're going to get on to the serious stuff now, okay?
Oh,
Your self-titled album, its debut album, I'm assuming, from last year. So it's got 8 tracks in it. We've got Rust, Remain, The Alpha. So this is the second song that you wrote, and it's what you tend to open your shows with.
Correct. Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Bone In. I'm not sure. I want to know what that's about. Black Compass, White Noise, These Keys, Hund, and Red Rocket. And I can only guess what that one's about. So, what do you write about? Don't leave it to my imagination. Tell me.
Oh, it's all over the place. Bone In was it was the first song I wrote for this band, and it's a silly song that it can be about a dog that's smelling a bone-in ham cooking in the oven and going crazy, or it can be about sex. So
my dog must have heard you talking about that.
Yeah.
He's now barking. He's saying, well, where's my bone? Where is it?
And it confuses people. So, but and Hund, this animal is, and it's not a funny song at all. It's this animal is brought aboard the ship of these sailors as a good luck charm. They almost kind of worship him, and they paint his image on the sails, and they think that he's going to bring them great fortune. And these gods are at sea are kind of mad that they're loving this animal so much and not them, and the gods sink the ship and kill everything. And it's a little more detailed than that, of course. But
what is this? Like a Greek tragedy, some sort of mythology? Or?
It's just supposed to sound ancient and a little vague on purpose.
So you made it up. You made the whole thing up.
I made the whole thing up, and it sounds kind of like Viking metal, but but there's no reference to Viking anything in the song.
I want to add on to that. When we write for the songs that we play, we focus more on the heaviness, and then as we start, that's when John comes in with like the vocals and the stories, and his ideas start coming out. So that aspect as well, where before the story and the lyrics come, we're as a band creating that heavy music, and we're not thinking, dogs while we write, but we're just thinking we want it to be heavy and stuff that we enjoy to play, and people, will as well like it as we do. So just a little extra.
And are you writing now? Have you got a new release on the way?
Right now, we've got, I think, 5 or 6 songs that are mostly completed for the next recording. And we're deciding whether or not we want to do an EP or wait till we have a full album. And one idea we're throwing around right now is releasing every bit of it song by song. And we really want to do that. And we'd like to do a video at some point too.
It's in the works, I'd say, but we still are, it's something that we're planning on hopefully releasing later this year for sure, and working on it. So
right. So you had your album release show in February. Have you been playing many gigs since then?
We actually don't play a lot of shows. We have this one really interesting issue where our guitarist Eric does pyro for bigger bands, and he runs away on tour with those bands. And I think right now he's with Kiss. So so he's a little busy, but we play shows with one guitarist, our other guitarist Derek, and they go really well. But it's we don't want to put the wrong image out there and misrepresent ourselves, so we don't play a lot of shows while Eric is gone. And things there are supposed to be changing in the near future, like where we're going to pursue some bigger opportunities and have the full band with us and set up tours, things like that. Yeah.
So when you say bigger opportunities, what exactly are you thinking of?
Well, obviously I want to go on tour, but we are definitely going to put ourselves out there for the festivals. I would rather go and play a festival than just book a million bars,
Let's look ahead now. Do you have any long-term goals? Obviously, you mentioned you've got your, whether it's an EP or an album due to come out at some point, which would be your second one. But looking a bit further ahead, where do you see the band?
I think that within the next year, we're going to take a giant leap forward, and I won't feel bad if it passes the year mark and turns into 2 years. It's still within the limits of what I'm thinking. I think that we're going to be playing some bigger shows that will bring some endorsements with us and some
exposure, more people, fans.
Yeah, more exposure, more fans. And the thing is, it's like every month that goes by, it's we're attacked by people wanting us to go play their, to go play their venues out of state. I think we might have overexposed ourselves right here in Austin, Texas. So we're kind of backing off on that a little bit. You don't want your friends getting sick of you. But we have a relationship with New Orleans and the areas around it. And we have great friends out there. We're going to play there again right around Halloween
this year.
Oh, nice.
That goes great. They treat us so good. I would love everybody to look up. There's a venue out there. It's called the Twist of Lime, and they treat bands very well. They give you a lot of respect. So
really cool place.
So for people that haven't seen you live, could you just describe to us briefly what a live show is like? What would we see?
Go ahead, Stan.
I will say this as a drummer, through my perspective, I am behind a kit. It's not the biggest kit in the world. I'll bring my kit and I will play in front of 2 people, or I'll play in front of 200 or even 2,000. But the point is that when I get there and I set up my drum set and with my band and my bandmates ready to play, I don't think of anything but the music, and I just play my heart out. I almost feel like there's some points after gigs where I feel like I literally am going to just pass out and die, because I play so hard and heavy and fast, and I want to make an impact. I want people to see us and be like, that band fucking ruled, or man, those guys were so awesome. Like we should, buy merch, or, let's like bring them on tour or whatever. And the thing is that what I love about this band, being in previous bands before, is that not only do me and the guys get along well outside of the band, but I genuinely love the music that we play, and the chemistry we have when we're creating it is amazing. And so there's no other like group of dudes that I would rather, be in a band with than these guys. And
Awesome.
I think, yeah, you can go, John. Oh, just
I said that's awesome. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, okay, no, but just these guys. I mean, it's our first album. We have 8 songs that are really killer. A lot of the reception and feedback has been great. People, listeners are really digging it. Thinking they're bangers. So, I mean, in this day and age, when you hear new music, you're like, holy fuck, like that's awesome. Like, and then like for me, when I hear something, I just like kind of listen to it over and over for repeat on days and until I get bored of it. But I'm excited just to hear and like see what other people have to say, and when they hear it and they hear like some original talent, local from Austin or whatever. But we're doing it. It's our first album, so I'm just as excited for album 2 in the next couple of years and everything that we have going after that. So sorry, John, you can go. I'm sorry for that.
No. Why be sorry?
Just be polite to each other. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Well, I would say if you come to our show, what you would see is the first thing you're going to notice is probably a bald guy leaping around on stage like a crazy person, and and our great big bass player. He looks like a great big Viking weightlifter. That's it's kind of funny. He's a really big. Good-looking Jason Momoa kind of guy, and all the girls just follow him around. Which it's the opposite of most bands, right? Usually it's not the bass player. So.
And then we got the 2 guitarists, Eric and then they're doing their like head banging with their long hair, and Eric has his short Daisy Dukes on some of the time, again, because we don't take each other seriously. So tight little girl shorts.
Have you got any plans to tour abroad anytime? Would that be something on the cards?
Yes, that is definitely in the cards. It's just something we have to put together and just make happen. I don't want to, unless there's some corporate backing, I don't want to go broke trying to play a show overseas. So it's like we're gonna set up something real. And I mean, I think if we it's not an if for me, it's when. But when we go over there, I want to make sure that we're with the right guys that, bring people that appreciate the kind of metal that we play. I don't think we would, and it's nothing against these guys I'm talking about, but I don't think we would entertain the audience at a black metal show. I don't think that would work. I don't think we would entertain an audience at a grungy kind of show either. I think Metallica, Motorhead, Slayer, Pantera fans, all that kind of stuff, they're going to dig what we do. If they like a big groove with outbursts of all this other stuff, then they're going to have a good time.
Okay, well, I urge people to look out for you. Go to the website, which is Bone ATX, which took me a few seconds to work out what that stood for, but obviously, boneatx.com. Go check them out. I love your about page. It's what every journalist likes. Nice list of the band members first up, and that is spot on. Whoever designed that website knew what they were doing. But yeah, go check out some really nice, really cool merch there. Some good t-shirts as well. I've seen some with dogs on, so that would be right up my street. Best of luck, guys, with everything. I don't know I wonder what you were reaching for.
So we got other things too besides shirts. Just throwing that out there.
Hey, I'm intrigued. I think I might have missed something. I'm going to go and have another look. All the best with everything, and the Halloween show is a while off yet, but I bet that will be fantastic. So I hope you get a really good turnout for that.
Thank you very much. And this has been a pleasure.
Yeah, lovely talking to you guys. Enjoy the sunshine. I can tell it's nice and sunny there, as it is here in Manchester. So
nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Take care, guys. Lots of love. Bye.
Take it easy.
This is rock and roll, burning out to my soul.